So the Niners theoretically are going to trade Jimmy. They probably have to wait for Russell Wilson to get moved or Aaron Rodgers. There's probably a couple dominoes that have to go first, but eventually they're going to trade him. And I think there's a way they can do it. I don't think any team's just going to look at him and be like, boom, first round pick. And if they are, great. But he was hurt 3 times this year. What is the big issue with Jimmy? Injuries. Yep. And there's a lot of debate on how good he is. Well, who cares about his stats if you win with him? Yada, yada, yada. There is no debate about his injuries. And so I think that is going to really hurt what the Niners can get. And so what the way they can circumvent this problem is to get a conditional pick. Say, we understand the reality of Jimmy Garoppolo. He was hurt to end the season. He just had surgery, most likely on his thumb. So how about this? If he goes to you and doesn't play or gets hurt and continues to be, a giant tease, then all right, we'll take a 4th. But if he's the Jimmy that everyone says he is, and he goes to you and he's healthy and he starts and he wins and he goes to the playoffs then we get a 2, or it escalates. It's a 3 if he plays 16 games. It's a 2 if he goes to the playoffs. It's a 1 if he wins a Super Bowl, something like that. It'll be highly conditional. What do you think?
I think it depends on what the 49ers are attempting to do, their motivations in this trade, because it's my belief that one would be better optics for the organization. One would come across to the fan base as a win. If you get that, even if it doesn't come into fruition, if you get that conditional 1, you can lob that out there as like, maybe we got a 1 in return for Jimmy Garoppolo, and the optics to the fan base are great. If you're after true value as an organization, my argument would be that a second rounder this year would be far more valuable to the growth and trajectory of Trey Lance than a first rounder the following season. I would rather the 49ers get a draft pick in 2022 for Jimmy Garoppolo and begin forming that nucleus around Trey Lance, because this is the critical time in his development as he comes in his first year.
It's a good point. You make a good point. I just don't think they're going to go that route. I think it's very important, as you point, the optics of it.
Right.
It's very important for the 49ers to not get less than a second round pick, because that's what they traded for him. And to take less would sort of be admitting that you messed up the situation. You sold low. Also, I think it hasn't been reported, but I think they probably had an offer maybe from the Patriots 2 years ago after that Super Bowl for a first round pick that they probably said no to. And if that's the case, I don't know that it is, but I think it probably, I'm not saying New England, but I think they probably had a first round pick offer on the table. They also had Tom Brady saying, I want to play for you. And they said no to all of it. And I think if that's the case internally, they know it. It's hard. It's hard to then turn around 2 years later and take a 4th for him, right? It's really hard.
And you could see the team trading for Jimmy Garoppolo being incentivized to go with this type of a strategy because of what you mentioned. The primary knock against Jimmy Garoppolo is the inability to stay healthy. And therefore, if you can put in a conditional pick, that puts your franchise fan base at ease in that, okay, well, we're bringing in Jimmy. If he stays healthy the entire time, we know he's a winner when he does that. Then we're okay giving up that higher draft pick. But if he doesn't, it doesn't sting quite as much. It doesn't make us as a fan base and as an organization look foolish.
It's like, look, it could go down like this. Say the best they're offered this year is a late 3. They could do better. But maybe it breaks that way. And Pittsburgh gets Russell Wilson and they're out of it. And you're left with some team who's kind of interested, but not really. And they offer, we'll give you a late 3. And then I'm just like, how about instead of a late 3 this year, we take a late 3 next year that could raise with, certain benchmarks. I think that would probably be more. I think they prefer that. I don't know what word I was looking for. I think they would prefer that. They would like that better.
Yeah, that would be preferential for them.
Preferential. I love that.
And so I think the other thing to consider that's interesting, because you mentioned it, like it could be that Jimmy's the last domino, but just to play devil's advocate there, you could say that of the available quarterbacks, while Jimmy is clearly not the best and not in that group with the best, he might be the simplest. He might be the easiest one to get the deal done with. It's pretty complicated to get a franchise quarterback away from a team, right? They're going to play hardball. They have the leverage. They're going to want a windfall of picks. Jimmy's pretty clear cut. You could probably get it done for a second this year and be done with it. and then take yourself out of that carousel and not have to worry that you're the person standing when the music stops.
Right. Like, say Pittsburgh wants Malik Willis in the draft, and they're like, we don't need to trade multiple first round picks for Russell Wilson. We like Willis. So what we'll do is we'll spend one first round pick on Willis. If he drops to us, we'll trade something reasonable for Jimmy, and he'll be our bridge. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Why overspend, spend all these picks just for the right to give Russell Wilson $40 million a year? Honestly, that's not that smart. You're not going to – Seahawks couldn't win that way. You're probably not going to win that way. Now, I don't know if you're going to win with the Jimmy thing, but I can see it. I see what you mean. So we'll see.
Yeah,
I want the trade tomorrow. I'm ready. I want something. Bored.
Yeah, me too. And I want to know how the future fan base reacts, because I have a buddy who's a diehard Steelers fan, and I've been talking to him about it because I've been picking Pittsburgh as the destination for Garoppolo since November-ish. And the response is as you would expect. So what do you think of getting Jimmy Garoppolo? Like, just sort of undecided, like kind of cool, but also no.
Yeah, can you tell me what fan base is secretly or not so secretly like crossing their fingers for Jimmy Garoppolo?
Is anyone pining for Jimmy?
Which one is it? Is it Pittsburgh? I don't think it's Pittsburgh. I mean, is it Cleveland? I don't think there's, and that's the problem with. That's why he's not. That's why he's a bridge, and that's why you're probably not going to get a first round pick for him because, man, I think fan base might revolt. What?
It'll be the type where the fan base is accepting of the move. Nobody's going to be thrilled. Nobody's going to be celebrating it. Some people will be poo-pooing it, but the majority will be like, okay, I get where you're going with this.